Innovative content. Global audience.
Hello, good morning, viewers. We're reaching you live from our Srtv studio here in London. And of course, we have Abuja connected already. It's a very beautiful morning here in London. And I have with me the able
Daddy Chris. Hello.
Yes, we're glad you can make it today, sir. And of course, I have Kenneth, Paul, and John in Abuja studio already seated for today's show. We have quite a lot coming from the news this morning. Yes, and I know the tensions are actually building up, and fingers crossed are waiting Supreme Court's judgment regarding to dear president.
It's quite fast. It's just a breaking news that they will break it out today. Is that correct?
Yes. So
I hope Abuja is sending someone there.
So how is Ken? How is the environment this morning on your way to work?
Well, it's one of a mixed feeling. It's mostly party related. APC supporters, of course, are very confident that they were, going to win the case, just like they did at the tribunal. The Labour Party, faithfuls, and most of the articulated, of course, are in praying for a different verdict. But it's generally everywhere is calm, except probably the environment where the judgments will be taking place. Then we can see a build-up of numbers and people, and of course, journalists are out there trying to get a bit of the news and get it out to their people. But overall, everywhere is calm. People are moving about. Just mostly party faithfuls are the ones keeping tab with the whole situation.
Of course, we know that the Supreme Court area will be agog sooner, maybe later today, and we know just maybe protests might just come out, but we pray it doesn't, because I saw an article yesterday, and a lawyer was trying to analyze what might happen, like not saying what will happen, but like you said, Ken, is a mixed feeling. We know that while some will be laughing later today, others will be sad, but that is life, right? And that is politics.
I'll definitely be laughing, yeah.
Yes, that is politics. I will keep our fingers crossed awaiting that verdict later today. We know that 7 Supreme Court justices will decide on that case today. And we hope that, I don't know, their evidence, whatever they have, should be looked at critically, and whatever the court decides, Nigeria also will stand by them. Well, once again, good morning, viewers. We're going to, just later on today, we're going to be having, a discussion. There are quite of mixed feeling or emotions as well as regarding the ministerial slots and appointment, and I think some people are feeling they are feeling like they didn't get enough. They're being sidelined, and anger, aggrieved people here and there. They feel like they are not getting enough of the national cake, and this is a topic that will make the show today, later today, after the reviews of the paper. And of course, we are supposed to have somebody joining us this morning, Ken. I hope the person is ready as well. Just maybe we can connect with that person. But we'll move on quickly with the reviews. And these are some of the news that are making waves this morning on the national dailies. And we're going to begin with the Punch newspaper. Now, these are some of the stories we have. The main headline here says, diesel, jet fuel rising prices threaten industries, airlines. And the rider says, diesel aviation fuel sell for 1,000. Factories shut in Kano, Ogun, Anambra, others. Telecoms operators use 40 million liters of diesel monthly. Man warned against hike. Now, all these stories are on page 2 of the Punch newspaper, as well as the story here that says Supreme Court decides Tinubu article will be pool battle today. And that story is on page 26 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says President to present 2024 budget November, says Senate. And that story is on page 28 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says 5.5 trillion payroll. FG stops workers' salaries, not IPPIS. And that story is on page 22 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says FG delegate visit flooded Ogun communities, promises succor. And that story is on page 17 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says son of Ogbomosho to a P remover, palace source, and that story is on page 5 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says Mobile P for 6 months over fear of attack. Now, this is coming from Mohbad's parents, and that story is on page 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper. As well, there's a story here that says National Assembly to probe lawyers, others behind $11 billion P and ID scandal. That story is on page 25 of the Punch newspaper. Now, these are all the stories that made it to the headline this morning, the cover page of the Punch this morning. You could see that there is we already know that the economy issue that increased, the fuel, aviation fuel will keep going up. Of course, we saw a report the other day that says one-way ticket now to is now around 130,000. That is local flights within Nigeria. That means if you're doing return ticket, you should be looking at almost 300K. I don't know if people have the energy for that, but I believe if I'm in Abuja right now, naturally I don't like traveling. I like staying in one place for so long. So I would have just stayed back in Abuja because I rather send that money to my mom and everybody is at peace than using so much. But we know that the economy, like man is warning here also, is a problem. And now, don't forget, Ken, let me throw this to you.
Can we have the papers, please?
Okay.
Let's have it in so that everybody can. It's like Abuja don't. Do you guys have the papers?
Okay, I'm supposed to actually drop on
please.
the platform for
Yes,
them.
please.
So, can we, before then, there's a story here. You can see the picture story as well. Everywhere is flooded in Ogu. And another thing here in Ogu is that reptiles are now coming out of the water. I don't know where people will go from there. Joy, what can we do about this? Well, you did say the other day very valid point that people tend to block a drainage system, the ways and all that. But in Ogun, we've seen that the flooding this year in Ogun is quite massive, it's big. And even federal government is now saying that promises succor to them. And yesterday, I saw some of the footages and the videos where the residents were lamenting that reptiles are now coming out of the water, which is something that is more dangerous to them, the citizens.
Okay, good morning once more. I'm talking about flood. Flood that reptiles will come out means it's really very, very serious. I think we had that kind of experience in Benue 2017. That was the time reptiles came out because most of those reptiles are close to the water here, the bush around the water. So for them to move down to the city, that means that flood is really very serious because we saw snakes and the rest that time. So I think the people of Ogu are in a very serious situation, and as the federal government have said they will come in, they should be fast about it and try to help them because it's really a very terrible situation and a pathetic one. If I want to remember the experience we had in Benue in 2017.
Wow. I really feel for them because one thing is to have water around and another thing is to have reptiles coming out of the water. That's two things at the same time. Mm-hmm. And then, Kenneth, we know that yesterday, Mohbad's parent went to court, and even the wife, including some of the family members, and they did say their son, your late son, hid for over 6 months the fear of attack. Which attack from whom? He said, the father also said that the son confided in him the things that the son told him about Naira Marley. Now, what do you make of all this?
Well, with Mohbad is actually a very sad one because whatever we want to do right now, the young man is gone. And of course, there's nothing anybody can do that can replace the life lost. But I also stand for the fact that justice needs to be served, if for nothing else, at least for a deterrence to other people who take advantage of young Nigerians, especially when it comes to the entertainment industry. But I think the dad is actually speaking out very late. For me, as a father, if the young boy had confided in him, it means he expected him at some point to intervene as a father. But probably, maybe he's scared too. maybe he feels handicapped in the situation. Maybe he has not even done enough. For my own part, I think he did not do enough, because the boy died, and the pathology report, or rather the police investigation when ended, did not indicate that he died of bullying. There was nowhere the police said he died because he was bullied. They said he died because he had injection from a quack nurse, giving him 3 shots for a kind of more like a tetanus or whatever. And because he was, though most people don't want to talk about it, but he was a drug. He used drugs to an extent where the thing was so big in his system that the drugs that he was injected with reacted, and then he went into seizure. And of course, he had a lot of friends who had no idea about first aid, or the fact that when someone goes into shock, epinephrine is needed to revive him. They just had him, started taking pictures, and they're posting it on social media. So for me, the young man has suffered while living, and he's also suffering even at death, because we're yet to unravel the true cause of his death. Of course, the medical have been able to say is as a result of overdose from injection. But moving to the father right now, I think whatever they are doing, they're trying their best to see how they can best get justice for the young man. But we're expecting the court to do what they need to do. But on my own case, I think the dad has not done enough, and him mounting the podium now to say everything about Mali and the record ladder is very, very late. It's too late, because, of course, legally, he had already terminated his contract with Malian Records. So you can't even drag Malian Records into whatever is happening now. Whatever is happening is a personal case between Naira Marley and Mohbad, and, of course, Sam Larry, who has been said to bully the young man and every other thing. But of all the cases we've heard, legally speaking now, there was never a time the young man said that Naira Marley himself molested him. He only said cronies or people who are affiliated to Naira Marley after his life are chasing him, are trying to hurt him. But there was never a time.
Kenneth, there was a time he did say that if anything happens to him, Naira Marley should be held responsible.
But he didn't say Naira Marley has beaten me or Naira Marley has molested. He said if anything should happen to me.
He said that word even before now. I saw that report before he even died.
Yeah, like if anything should happen to him.
And that was why the moment he died, everywhere was a gog with Naira Marley, because he did say, even the friend Bella, the close friend to Mohbad, Bella, did say the same thing as well. When Naira Marley said he's insane, he's not well, people should not invite him for shows and all that. I think that was the time he pulled out of that record label. So this is why that's why I think a lot of people actually had to hold on to Naira Marley and all that.
But even as of the day he died, Naira Marley was not in the country. Sam Larry himself was not in the country. I'm not standing for them, but I'm looking at it from the legal angle and what can be proven, because of course it's evidence that is going to be used in this case and or whatnot. At most or at best, what could be said of Naira Marley is he might be convicted for harassing, for stalking, or maybe cyber stalking and the rest, and defamation of character. But I don't think anybody is going to convict Naira Marley of physical assault to Mohbad, because there was never a time it has been proven that he attacked Mohbad himself. Maybe conspiracy could be added to his charges, but I don't see the possibility of anybody saying that Naira Marley physically assaulted Mohbad.
And I think also, like what you said, I think I agree that the father is rather speaking coming out too late. I remember when the thing happened, he was even holding information. Anyway, we see how the outcome of that case will be at the end of the day. Now, before we move quickly from Punch, as a president to present 2024 budget November, says Senate, what should we be expecting, or what do you think these people, the president, will be doing different from what we saw from the last administration? What are your expectations?
Well, I'm scared, to be honest, because this president, he seems to be giving toffee ideology. What we can do at this time is actually wait and hope that he's going to come up with something solid. Because right now, we now know that he's the one that listening to people. Let's use the word listening. Because anytime they protest, the president will change. Anytime they protest, this APC guy, Kenneth, those guys will change. What is important is you come up at the beginning of the first day of office and you say, hey, fuel subsidy should go. man, I was supporting him. And I said, this guy is out to do something great. All of a sudden, it's coming out with palliative. Who needs palliative? You said subsidies should go. Use the money to save the country. We are ready to take the pain. I hope that all that will reflect in the budget. Let the budget be something that move Nigeria from where we are to the next day. Not what we will eat today. We want what we will put down for our children. And that is important. If this president cannot think like that, then we have a problem. And I really pray. All I can do is pray at this time. Nigeria always pray. So I join you guys in prayer to say, okay, let's pray that we will have a budget of tomorrow, not budget of today. Because only greedy parents think of today. They don't think about tomorrow. We as parents, we only think of tomorrow and for our kids. And then that is important. And quickly, just a touch on Naira Marley. I don't know when I'm allowed to do that. Quickly, it's a shame, that we look at this matter from just the surface of it. We must look at it from even the case of cultism in Nigeria. Kids are scared. You understand? It happens in school. Let's look at it. It happens even in the West. We saw what happened between Tupac and B.I.G. killing themselves and all that. So I don't know. Maybe it's a generational thing, that they think in a particular way. When you don't belong to a particular gang, you are against us. It's what is killing our kids today. If you send your child to school in Nigeria, other than the fact that they will not finish on time, you're scared if he or she is safe. And the safety is, they'll be forced to do it, whether the child likes it or not. If you don't belong, you're in trouble. And if I probably in school today, I would have belonged. And you can blame them as much as you want. If I were in school today, I probably have to belong to be safe or to keep my girlfriend safe or keep my family safe. So how is that going to be addressed? It's something beyond me. Maybe people like Kenneth who are younger, you guys that went to school of time, you have your experience, and you should tell us what we need to do to address it. You guys don't address the issue. Mohbad is a typical case. I'm happy it should be used as an example to address the issue of bullying, courtesan in general. You understand? Like Kenneth rightly said, it's going to be difficult to prove this in a law court that he actually, see, it's easy to say something. Like I always say, speculation is not evidence.
It's not evidence. I remember I brought in one of the musicians here on my shows during that the candlelight procession here in London, and he did say that this thing in the industry they do the courtesan clicks and all that. That was a major issue we actually discussed. Anyway, we move quickly to the next newspaper we have, and that would be the Nigerian Tribune. Now, these are some of the stories coming from the Tribune. The main headline here says 8-month battle over Tinubu's victory ends today. And the rider says as Supreme Court decides Atiku Obi's appeals. Now, all these stories are on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, as well as a story here that says federal government should order NNPCL to sell petrol, diesel directly to marketers. This is coming from Hypeman, and that story is on page 7 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says court stops Senate's award of 18.4 billion compensation to 36 Rivers oil communities. And that story is on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says 2,360 children killed in Gaza strife. And that story is coming from UNICEF and is on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says revisit 2014 National Confab report. This is coming from our SAT leaders to Buhari, I beg your pardon, to Tinubu and NAS. And that story is on page 28 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says Nigeria will be in deeper trouble if we don't cut waste. And that story is coming from Obaseki on page 5 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says court remove Gandhi as Shoshu of Ogbomosho, others fresh selection process. And that story is on page 30 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says IPPIS, FG threatens to remove unverified civil servants from payroll October 27. That story is on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says FRIN shut down as EFCC students clash in Ibadan. That story is on page 5 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says armed robbers invade Tassud private hostels, rape 4 students. That story is on page 15 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. There's a story here that says 9 states get new resident electoral commissioners on page 19 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says bill to ban CBN governor, deputies from partisan politics passes second reading at Senate. That story is on page 5 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Bayelsa, APC react to INEC delist silver from candidates' names. And that story is on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Now, these are all the stories we have coming from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. There's a story here that actually caught my attention. Armed robbers invade Tassud private hostels, rape 4 students. Sad, I must say.
You see, that's something you guys discussed yesterday. It's pathetic, you know. Rape in Nigeria. I think what you discussed.
Yes, that was my topic just yesterday.
Sure.
Yes, I saw that school yesterday. I saw the the bushes around the schools and all that, and
Again, it comes down to sending your child to school and wondering whether the child
is safe.
You know, these are the things we're talking about: safety, safety, safety. And I don't know. Like I said, all I'm going to do is ask you guys of this generation where all this is coming from. I mean, we have cases of rape from generation time, but this is
like when you think your child is even in a safe place and they break in. Don't forget also that we've seen this over the last 2 months in Zamfara, I think, and in one of the states in the north where bandits break into hostels, but that is to kidnap the student. But now we've seen that now they are now moving to the west. This is somewhere in the Yoruba land where armed robbers actually broke in. And I follow that trend, and people have the opinion that this might just be cuttings from that school as well. So it boils down to that was what most of the youth said yesterday, that there is no armed robber that will just
come into the campus
and invade the campus. Now, this has to do with somebody within that. That was what they said. Yes, a lot of the reactions yesterday.
And let's be sincere. They just do this one on the open yesterday. They rape these kids by force. What is rape? Rape is not even when you come in by force like this. By the time you intimidate young people to have sex with them, and which is what the boys are doing in school these days, is it not rape?
And Kenneth did made a very valid point yesterday that most time when these people are raped, we tend to talk about the rape. I had to look for these people because the police immediately after that incident did release a statement that they are going to hunt down these robbers for sure. But Kenneth did say something yesterday, and when I read that report, there was nothing as such as, okay, we're going to take care of these students or take them to rehab or anything. They just everybody was just concerned. Oh, they should look for them. They should get them arrested. But nobody is talking about the victims. Okay, the pains they will go through and the trauma as well.
I think there's always. You mean Nigerians don't do that?
No, most time in Nigeria we don't.
No, NGOs will be.
Yes, except for NGOs that will go there.
Up, you understand?
Yes,
and people don't speak out though. That's the fear. It's a taboo in Africa. Yeah, exactly.
That is Africa where people tend to tell you, okay, you did this, you were raped and all that. So the fear of being, laughed off on daily basis now has that is a problem also, and it's quite sad. Kenneth, there's a story here as well that says bill to ban CBN governor deputies from partisan politics passes second reading at Senate.
Well, I think is something that is long overdue. It's not supposed to be a bill to ban CBN and the rest. It's supposed to be a bill to ban civil servants from looking for elective positions without resigning from the positions. I think what they're doing now is because of what Emefiele had, done to the APC. Of course, they only understood the level of damage it could cause when the damage had already been done. For me,
Kenneth, sorry,
yes,
Kenneth, did Emefiele officially? No, let's be sincere. Any civil servant will know fully well to resign before running for an elective office. Come on, what are you talking about?
what Emefiele did, Emefiele actually ran for the presidency. The only thing was that
He wanted to, but he did not declare. He didn't buy his form. You see, even whatever you do behind doesn't concern us. Until you come out.
You are looking at this from the European context. In Nigeria, only saying that you want to run, you're already running.
Ken, I want to run. I'm preparing to run, but I'm not doing the form. You're not running.
Yes.
So he was already campaigning. He only wanted to get,
officially was it campaigning?
I think I stand with Kenneth. He doesn't have the right to.
He doesn't.
That is a very sensitive position he was holding.
I agree. What I'm saying now,
to dabble into politics while still in that office
I hear you.
having the thoughts.
I hear you. What I'm saying is that I can make my preparations while I'm doing anything, but I am not allowed to officially declare for elected position as long as I remain a civil servant. That is clear. I don't think, if I deny as dumb as a Nigerian electoral, they wouldn't allow you. You understand? Emefiele wouldn't have scaled through had he been saying, I'm the civilian governor, I'm running. He knew fully well that he was going to resign. So I don't think that is the
definitely issue. All the ministers that were with the Buhari administration that wanted to contest the positions, they all have to resign because we have existing laws in the Electoral Act that says that. But I think what they're trying to do now is they're trying to move it into the constitution, not just as a by-electoral law that says you will not contest unless you resign. It now wants to make it to be criminal for you to even contest when you're still a civil servant. You see, like what you were saying now, Emefiele did a lot of damage because he tried to contest where he could not be the consensus. He decided to work against the ruling party, of course, and he brought about the Naira.
And that is your Nigeria problem. As far as we concern in Nigeria, Emefiele did not contest. Whatever you guys have together,
Emefiele contested, sir. I put it in that he contested.
His billboard and his posters were everywhere.
His cars were there. He was
I don't see that as a
posters everywhere. Listen, you see, that's why I'm happy, Ken, you said something that you see, the INEC, Buhari did well. If you want to contest, get out. You understand? Yeah. That was clear. You cannot contest if you are still in my cabinet. You understand? And that is obvious. Nobody will allow you. I know Nigerians will take everything. We won't.
Because
you can do your underground work. We don't care.
About economy issue, Naira falling, he was busy focusing his energy on politics, and that is something that was very wrong.
Was that why? Listen, we want to go Emefiele case. Actually, I did that for APC because whatever they went through is an internal issue. It wasn't in the interest of the country. Let's be sincere. You know, I'm so angry with what Emefiele. I was so happy at that point that they were going to remove the Naira. You understand? We wanted to change the currency because so many Nigerian money is stuck at home. You understand? These are the two sides of the story. We want to hear one side now. He wanted to contest. That was it. But let's talk about that policy itself. Something I supported. And I'm so angry with Buhari for not seeing that in through. There was a time where we need to shake those people who have our Naira stuck in their backyard. Bring it out. If you see the thing we're saying that if you have a lot of money, the bank say bring it out. Where they failed us is not giving people the little one they could change. In fact, I wanted people to come out. You know, if I become Nigerian president, the first thing I'll do is that you will bring your money and you will tell us how you make your money. You know, I know they will never allow me to win. Because if you start with that, all the debt will be paid today. If we can do that, the whole debt will be done today. Because some of this money, they know they cannot say how they made it. It's in the UK. If I have 20,000 pounds in my account, I'll be in prison. I will need to explain how I got it. That is if I'm walking on the street with £1,000 cash, the police have the right to stop me and ask me to explain cash in this country. Cash. When you go to your backyard, Ken, no, this is a rape on the system. You understand? There's nothing we can do if we don't address this. If Emefiele and Buhari wanted to address that, I was supporting them big time. And if whatever they did with their party until the man commit an offense, I didn't see anything. I'm so angry that thing didn't happen. Because like I keep saying, Nigeria have enough money. The money is in the hands of the few. Stolen. What a shame.
Anyway, just before we move ahead, there's a story here, Joy, that says IPPIS FG threatens to remove unverified civil servant from payroll October 27. And now we know that we have ghost workers.
Oh my God.
Only
Oh my
in Nigeria. Joy, do you
Oh
think this
my-
is even visible? Because Nigeria is a
Can we
country that
do
we
it?
don't have data.
We should
right?
do this. You understand?
But do
What
we even
a
have
shame.
the database? These
Ah,
are
come
the
on.
questions this morning.
It's wrong to say Nigeria. What do you do with NIN?
For the civil servants, I think they have passed through a screening that most of them can be put in. That's those that are not yet in IPPIS can be included in it. Those that are not doing it, the organizations that are not doing it are not doing it because of what the corruption that is going on. There are some that are doing different jobs. So from following the issue of IPPIS, the knowledge I have, at least from friends and people that I know are with the Federal Civil Service, if it's just that in Nigeria, most things they hardly stick to what they want to do. If not, if they do it, actually, it's going to erase a lot. But then, will they do it?
But
If not,
sorry, I'm not cutting you off now. But my question is, how are they going to do it? Because we have the Federal Civil Service where workers come to work and they have to sign with a pen and a biro that they are at work.
Ken, thank you.
Can't we come up with a biometric verification that says, okay,
That is why I say you don't have data. Anybody can sign for anybody. Anybody can
I agree.
particular screening that each parastatal.
Ken ask a question.
There's a particular screening that each parastatal has gone through, and they logged all these things were put in a particular database. That's why I said in Nigeria, if they really want things to work, they already have this. Some people are already enjoying IPPIS. Some parastatals and some federal government organizations are already being paid through IPPIS. It's just that there are still some. Because, okay, like I have a friend, I can't really remember that organization, it's under Agric. When they came to the day they called for the screening, a good number of our colleagues didn't turn up. They were newly recruited, at least less than a year. So she was now telling me that later on they discovered that those people, like one was working with 3 federal government parastatals. Okay. So he didn't come for that screening because probably maybe his data has been included in one of those parastatals. So that's why I said, if you follow that screening, if you make inquiries about IPPIS, you know that if they decide to do it, it will really work. But Nigeria, because of the corruption, we will not want to achieve it because they are brothers of those who is giving them the job. It's those people who have
somebody that is giving them the job. Now, the data I'm talking about is this. If we were to have a data, somebody is already in a parastatal working with the federal government, and you're going to another place to work, it boils down to one thing: no data. If you are to have it, do you know, for instance, let's say, for instance, you try to apply for maybe a visa somewhere in a developed country 10 years ago, and then this year you come again adding to the name or something. The moment they type in your name, that is it. All your record, everything comes out. They don't need to stress over it. And so that means somebody going somewhere to work, and then he's working in 3 different parastatals in federal government agencies. That means there is no data at the foundation.
Yes, we don't have that in Nigeria. If not, we won't be doing NIN.
If you go somewhere and they capture you, and your name alone should reflect that you are here.
Yeah, what we say now, I think we go back to the time of Obasanjo, where they tried to introduce this NIN or so. I think it's one of the most intelligent things we've done. I felt the NIN should solve all this problem.
No,
it has
never.
No, it might not have, but with NIN, they cannot trace your bank account. You have a BVN, which is peculiar to you. So if we type your name, your BVN is the same across all your accounts, all right? So we can use that to trace you. The question I ask is, how can a local government chairman or a state government approve payment to anybody, even the federal government, to anybody that his name is not verified? Why would I pay ghost workers? The issue of ghost worker is long. When the new local government came to my place, local government, my village, you find out that from the kings down to the chiefs, they have ghost You know, the guy
Well,
was,
I want it.
you understand? He was trying to remove, and they told him
Can I
that
say something?
so the guy was
I
confused.
have
I
a
don't
friend
know.
when I was in secondary school,
You
even
understand?
in university, all of them were under payrolls. Because, okay, there is this other one that served with my place of work where I was working initially. She was a core member. When she finished serving and we were like, how far was it? She was like, and her dad put all their names in their local government service commission. That so she has been earning a salary. That so for now that she has not gotten the kind of job she wants, she'll just go there and upgrade everything. Since now she has a degree and NYC certificate. So it's still the same thing we are talking about. Then concerning the name you were saying, the database, we all know that Nigeria, we don't have that database. If not, we won't be doing voters registration every other year.
God
We
bless
won't be
you.
doing all those
God
things.
bless you. No, Joy, God bless you. If you have NIN, why voters registration?
Why driver's license? Why all those
Listen,
stuff?
Tomorrow
Driver's
you'll see to go
license.
and do another one.
Exactly.
Just to have this.
National identity card, or okay, that's
It's working in
NIN.
the financial sector. What I'm saying now is working in the financial sector. Nigeria cannot tell me this. Now, and my friend is writing a book at the moment. He said Nigeria should be voting via the ATM. ATM in quote, not really the one you use now. That we come to a place where you just go and vote because of your personal identity. You go to ATM and vote who you want. You don't need to go to anywhere. You don't need to go and line up. You understand? That is where the world is even trying to. Though the UK have not been able to adopt that. You understand? But if we are so corrupt, maybe that is a solution.
But because of the corrupt politicians, of course, who want to buy the votes and buy the people over, they will do anything to tarnish any such idea.
Now, the time is now for them, Kenneth. Kenneth, you people, I'm happy you guys are doing your show, The Next President. Are these not some of the issues you guys will be addressing on this show? What's the theme of this year? I think it should be, electoral, you understand, strengthening the Nigerian electoral system. The young people should come out, no matter what you shout. Today you are talking about, you see, this is why I was blaming the civil society there. An election has been done, you understand? We are in court today. Hopefully the matter will come to an end today. But no matter the outcome, it's going to be sad. Why? Because we do know that INEC failed us. Why did INEC fail us? Corrupt politicians. Now, rather than addressing that, rather than trying to find out who we can beat Tinubu today, but the problem comes from INEC, from our system. Why don't the civil society actually take up INEC? And now, if there is something issues wrong with the way we vote, why is that not on top of the agenda? You understand? Why is the new assembly not focused on that? Why are they thinking of? Because if we're going to have a successful nation, the way we elect our leaders will be important. This is the implication. By the time leaders know that we are responsible for them being there, they will listen to us. But by the time the selectocracy reigns supreme, that is, I select you, you go there, you will listen to me. You understand? The only way Nigeria can get good governance is when our leaders have the confidence that they have our vote. We put them there, not somebody put them there.
Yeah.
So if they know we put them there, they will listen to us. You think they will listen to me and you if they know they don't need us to win election?
That is true.
By the time they surely know that my being in office is because of these people, like we do here, they listen. They want to work for us, and they are no more intimidated by who and who. You understand? We talk of what happened in Mubarak's case. That same thing we should talk about how it's happening in Nigerian politics. Because our so-called government governors and all of them, they are being controlled by some people. If they misbehave, you die. You misbehave, you're not coming back. Let us talk about that. We are talking about the keys. There's a bully within your system. Political bully. Let's talk about it. That's why the governors are not working.
Anyway, we'll move on quickly to the next newspaper we have, and that will be, of course, because of time, we won't be able to take all the stories, but we move on quickly to the Daily Trust. Now, these are some of the stories coming from Daily Trust. The main headline here says a judgment day for Tinubu, Atiku, Obi as Supreme Court rules today. And the rider says, I will win, President. I have made my case, ex-VP. We are confident of our candidate's victory. This is coming from LP. Security beefed up at Supreme Court complex.
I like
That story is on all these stories
We
on
know.
page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And there's a story here that says General Akali's body was butchered after he was killed. This is coming from Witness, the Witness, and that story is on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. There's a story here that says Tinubu others mourn as Adamu Fika buried in Kaduna. That story is on page. The page is not so clear. And so the next story here is DSS releases ex-EFCC chair Bawa after 133 days. And that story is on page 26 of the Daily Trust newspaper. There's a story here as well that says Senate moves to bar CBN governors from partisan politics. And that story is on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says war on Gaza, Russian resolution fails at UN Security Council. And that story is on page 26 of the Daily Trust newspaper. There's a story here as well that says 9,000 Nigerians defrauded into enlisting for FG's household palliative. And that story is on page 23 of the Daily Trust newspaper. These are all the stories we have coming from Daily Trust this morning. Of course, you can see the three people battling at Supreme Court today, ex-VP, the president, and OB. And of course, they are all optimistic that they will get victory today. Of course, that should be the expectation of everybody. You don't go and fight and say the person will beat me. You will believe that I will beat it. Even if the person is bigger, I say I will beat this person. That is the spirit, and we will keep our fingers crossed on that judgment. I know that security will be beefed up, and because Timber and Caliber are going, I will be there today. All the people will be there today. So we actually expected that. But there's a story here that says 9,000 Nigerians defrauded into enlisting for federal government's household palliative. Ken, what do you make of this? Because I'm not.
Ken is an APC man.
well, no matter how anybody wants to.
Ken, so you are an APC. That's why you were applauding the lawmakers for buying the foreign SUV.
You should know.
No wonder he said he would be happy about the judgment.
Yeah.
I think no matter how anybody wants to look at it, you need to also give kudos to the president. He's a listening man. I believe most Nigerians actually clamor for the palliatives. I am not of the opinion of giving palliatives. It is not of my own thinking. I don't think along the line that people need, palliatives to survive, because most times the palliatives never get to the intended, people. Just like we're seeing right now. Yeah, but then you also need to ask the level of palliatives we're giving. How can you say you're giving 16,000 bags of rice to about 3 million residents in Abuja? So definitely it means it has to go to the high-powered ones and the rich ones. And definitely people will be defrauded from it. In fact, I know of someone that called me all the way from Masaka that people were selling forms for them to buy and fill their name to get palliative.
They are among these 9,000 Nigerians defrauded into enlisting for federal government household palliative, because they will have to buy forms so that their names will be there.
So you see at the end of the day, the poor man is also robbed again in order to get something meant for the poor, and that is Nigeria for you. But just like the decree said earlier, I think it's time to include digital technology to even the giving of palliatives, because I know even in the States they have what we call the food stamps in the United States. I don't really know about the UK, but I know in the US there is food stamp given to the poorest of the poor by the government, and they don't give that in by telling you to line up somewhere. It is paid directly to your, it reflects in your social security number, because the government knows when you're not earning. Based on your, IRS data, you've already been paying tax. So when you're not earning, they know that this guy is not earning. So a little thing is being sent to you, at least for feeding. So for me, I think we need to leave the analog way of government giving palliatives or help or whatever, and move into the digital space where people can get these things sent to them directly. then you're first want to ask, what is the importance of the voters card? If the voters card is only when you want to vote and not when the government wants to help you, I think it's also a means for government to identify those that exercise their civic responsibility by voting, and putting people in government. It means that when government wants to share things, they could also say, okay, if you have a voters card, please know that your voters card has about 10,000 naira put to it for you to survive a month. I am not of the opinion of palliative. It has always been my position, even in our party. I don't believe in palliatives as a way of helping the society. I believe in total, freedom for the human being. Because palliative is, for me, it is the word of the European. It's a Western ideology. No African man has ever lived on gifts ever in the history of Africa. We believe in farming the land by ourselves. We believe in working for ourselves. If you give us the tools to feed ourselves, an African man does not need to go and beg the next man for meal. That is why we have that pride. We don't even want to ask for help when we need help. So for me, I think government should focus more on helping the people to stand on their feet and not giving them, bread and a little rice to get it. So definitely people will be defrauded. We're just hearing about 9,000 now, and I tell you, if you check all over the country, it is rampant everywhere. Especially in the rural areas where people don't even know how these palliatives are given or who is giving it and how it is being given. Someone can just come now and dress up and go to Gombe and tell you that.
It's quite sad that even the poor are being defrauded. And let's not forget that the ex-EFCC boss was released yesterday. So I saw that video where the families, everybody was jubilating that he was finally out. Anyway, what is above the law? Whatever it is for the good of the common man.
Yeah, but we should be prayerful that those who are not in favor of Tinubu are not being victimized. I just want to be. You see, when these people when the government begin to pursue their enemies, I don't want to be dragging. You understand? I'm sure there are many corrupt people in Nigeria. Tinubu didn't start well. He started with a Mefele who was trying to come, and he comes to this. Hey, let them not be selective. If you want to come up with a strategy to fight corruption, make it open.
But even during I remember I covered most of ex-president Muhammad Buhari's campaign, and the mantra then was changed, which Nigerians actually keyed into. And at the end of the day, he came into power. The first thing he did as well, people, before then, prior to that time, people actually seen that ex-president as some kind of very honest, genuine. He will be a very honest man. And they came, it was the same thing. They started witch hunting. They started from the opposition, knowing fully well that people actually decamped from PDP to APC immediately. And even then, I remember Oshomole saying that for Akpabio to decamp, once you decamp and you join them, that means your sins are forgiven on a national television.
Exactly.
And so we have seen this over the years.
Thank you.
And
and Kenneth, let us, again, this is what I will expect you guys to do. I throw my bullet to Kenneth today because I expect them to do something. Kenneth, for your information, there's no civilized country where you see people carrying voters' card. Do you understand? It's barbaric, it's timid, it's out of date. You have a national identity card that it says your name, your age, where you come from. Where on earth do you need another voters card? You are only asked to, if you are not enlisted in the voters register, you might be asked to do so. You understand? Just for the job to be easier. You understand? Every time they say be on the voters register, so we know the amount of papers to print. You understand? That's what they do. It's for them to know what to do, how to prepare for an election. It's not to determine who and who should vote. As a Nigerian citizen, age 16 and above, or what is the law, you should be able to vote. And if Nigeria does not have that record, that is the beginning of our problem.
Anyway, we'll move on quickly to the next newspaper we have, and that will be the Guardian newspaper. Rather, that will be the Vanguard newspaper. The main headline here says presidential tussle. 7 Supreme Court justices will decide Tinubu Atiku Obi's fate today. That story is on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. As well, there is a story here that says that Tinubu appoint 9 INEC recs on page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says brain drain. FG to increase enrollment of doctors, nurses next year. And that story is on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. There's a story here that says domestic capital market, not foreign borrowing, can fix infrastructure gap in Nigeria. This is coming from the Vice President Shetima on page 19 of the Vanguard newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says IPPIS FG to stop salaries of unverified workers tomorrow. And that story is on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. There's a story here as well that says this is coming from the spot decks of Vanguard. Nigeria sets Africa record for most NBA players in single season, and is on page 31 of the Vanguard newspaper. These are some of the stories coming from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. There's a story here. I'm worried, Kenneth and Joy. I'm worried because federal government, we're talking about brain drain. Federal government to increase the enrollment of doctors, nurses next year. Now you enroll these people, you keep having salary issues with them, and they keep doing what? The Japas syndrome will still be there. If there's a sector we've seen people traveling out, that would be the health sector. Now I called my friend, a doctor friend, and say, Doctor, give me one of your friends for my show this week. And he said, Princess, you won't believe me that like nine of them just travel out within that space that week. That they are just going away, like they don't even care where they're going to.
Yes.
They are just going away. And now the federal government now recruiting more or wants to enroll more doctors and nurses into the health sector. And then we're seeing that the salary issues are still there. So what do we do, Kenneth?
Well, I think what we're having now is a manifestation of previous errors of past governments in Nigeria, where of course the doctors, not just the doctors, the civil service and Nigerian workers has never gotten the empathy they deserve from the government. I say this because the reason most of these people leave the country is not because they are in a haste to leave the country. They have to leave to survive, to make ends meet for their family. And then you have cases where doctors are being kidnapped, doctors are being killed. Most times they are attacked even at the place of duty. We have doctors who've gone into disaster areas to go and help, probably in Borno and the rest, who died even while working, and they never received an insurance. So for me, I think Japa will always be, but we also need to commend the few that remain in the country who are committed to helping Nigeria. But then the payroll is over bloated, and that is my question most times. I ask, who are we employing? It looks like the employment structure in the Nigerian society it does not employ people we need, because of course we need more security personnel, we need more medical personnel, but then you go to the civil service, go to a ministry, and then you see a lot of personnel that are not even doing anything. They only come there to move around, sign in, sign up, and they go home. If we could commit this money, of course, to the department where we are lacking the needed workers, then we will be able to get more people into the system. But I just want to plead with the few medical doctors in the country to remain committed. Of course, the Renewed Hope agenda is here now, and part of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's plan is to revive the health sector. Most people want to doubt that, but of course, you could see what he's been able to do in Lagos State, and the amount, the way Lagos State, even most of the doctors that leave this place, they run down to Lagos, because of course there it looks like they have more.
Point of correction: Lagos is not Nigeria. It's not as big as Nigeria, and don't forget that we saw I'm taking you somewhere.
Place can be visited. It's all about a working formula. The man has a working formula. So
okay, that is your opinion, though, and it's fine. And then don't forget also that we lost 2 doctors last month. One was in an elevator, I guess, that she was stuck there at the teaching hospital in Lagos. 2, the other one, these are young doctors below the ages of 35. And the other one had to work for 72 hours, and he just slumped and died.
Yeah,
all this is due to pressure and of course
the Nigerian Medical Association. said that the guy did not work for 72 hours. That yes, he might have overworked, but he was never up to 72 hours. We are not saying he has not been overworked. Everybody in Nigeria is overworked. Even the average man on the street.
Let me tell you something about medical doctors, right? Now, I've been to the hospital where a surgery was going on, right? And these doctors stood for like 8 hours. They were doing a surgery on somebody, right? Over 6 hours. I was there. And when they came, in fact, one of them had to slump. They came out, they started trying to revive the doctor. So another person had to, and this person is a specialist. And when I asked my doctor, who is a specialist as well from the United States, he told me that is something they see. Sometimes doctors have to stand for hours. And it has to do with your brain work. It has to do with your concentration. And I think that is one of the reasons why they tend to get tired after a strenuous job or something like that. So we know that everybody is overworked, but this is somebody trying hard to revive another human being. It's not the same. That is the way I see it, though. That's my opinion. And but even though the association did say he didn't work up to that, but the news is that he was overworked, and that is the news because he had to cover up duties. I think how many duties stretch. This is due to lack of medical doctors. And another thing is that we saw a young doctor that died in an elevator as well. She was stuck there. So these are some of the issues. The few ones that still want to stay, like you said, I join you to say, Kenneth, that they should be encouraged to stay.
Thank you.
They should be encouraged to stay.
Let us address the issue at hand, the Japa syndrome of our doctors. The shameful thing is the same country spent humongous amount of money. I can't even name it. There's no figure on health tourism. India is our new home. You understand? UK, America for treatment. Funny enough, the same people, the people that left your country are sometimes the people who treat you. I can tell you the people that treated Buhari here, 90% might be Nigerians. No, I don't know. You understand? And because sometimes when you wear the white skin, it becomes an expert. And we go through that, which is some stupidity Nigerian things. You understand? That's something we need to address. I'm going to do that in a little movie. You understand? Sometimes when people say a white skin, it's already better than me. I remember in those days, I came back home to Nigeria with two white boys working for me. And Nigerians talk to them. They are experts. They say, that's your Oga. I say, my boys are my Oga. You understand? So that is where the life is. You people believe in the white skin. Where that is coming from is a topic for another day. What I'm saying is, please, the same Nigerians, doctor, study of medicine is the same anywhere. There may be facility differences, but the same doctor are the same doctor that are going to treat you here. Like I insisted on this show. My accountant is a Nigerian from Benin. My doctor is from India. They are all, maybe you guys in Nigeria think India is white. India is not white here. All right, in where we are. You understand? So we are all foreigners here who left our homeland into the United Kingdom. Give credit to UK. They know how to attract the best. Somebody talk about brain drain. That's what we see. You see, because you cannot keep the good ones, those who can attract them will do so. You understand? Perhaps the cry to Nigeria would be to help to keep Nigerians, doctors, Nigerian lawyers, Nigerian engineers to stay at home and make their study more meaningful. And to be fair to them, those guys who are smart, I want to use the word, and they forgive me. It is only in Nigeria that you actually going to establish, and before you know, you have a clinic. All right, they hardly grow. In fact, I'm so angry with them here that we have few Nigerians who owns a GP. You guys will not know what's a GP. A GP is it's a kind of primary health care. You don't go to the main hospital, you go to your primary health care. So we all are assigned to primary health care. That's if I have it, that's where I go first. It's only they can send me to we call them the GP.
General practice.
Thank you. So in fact, most of Nigerians here, they don't do that. Most doctors come in, and it's not their fault because maybe they are just coming into the country, they're thinking of how to survive. Now, this is the problem with Japa syndrome. You have a particular age. Look at me now, already having all this hair. That's why I like to keep this gray hair. If I want to do anything, I think about it. Small time that the Christmas year, every year we don't white finish you. Now, the hair, if you are liver, you will see them. So you cannot misbehave anymore. What I'm trying to say is that when you move from your country to another place, you lose 10 years of your life trying to settle in. You can't get it free. 10 years, because you're going to talk about your paper, how you move from your, it's even moving. You know, the funniest thing, I can't wait to make the movie. You see a man in Nigeria who they used to drive, sit at home, washing plates. Who won't wash them for you? We don't have slaves here. So, in fact, they should reconsider. I'm saying to the people in Jakpare, let us make our country great. And to the Nigerian government, to hell with you, to allow your own brain be taken away. And you go back to the same brain outside. It's just like the way the children of Israel sold Joseph, and the same Joseph they went to meet.
Back to that is exactly what we're saying today. And we really do beckon on the government to do something about the doctors, because look at the one I'm bringing today. She told me that she's fully booked and she can't do the full time. We have to sleep, make it 2 episodes. That's the only way she can, because she didn't want to disappoint as well. Anyway, we move on quickly to the next newspaper we have, and that will be the Guardian newspaper. These are some of the stories coming from the Guardian newspaper this morning. And we have here, okay, so quickly we'll move to sport then.
Yes, please.
Because of time, let's take the sport, and so we'll wrap up because we still have serious discussion ahead. And then we'll go to sport newspaper this morning, and one of the story here says that the major headline here says, "Can this Noah save Eagles from goal flood?" And that story is on page 6 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. There's a story here that says, "I am ready to fight Joshua." This is coming from Wider, and that story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper, Punch Sport Extra. And we saw here another story: Urban no longer Belgium's MVP, and that story is on page 3 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. 40 million euro man, Boniface, Eagles' second most expensive star, and that story is on page 6 of the 7 rather of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. There's a story here also that says Ajabade scores as Falcons hold Ethiopia, and that story is on page 7 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. Osime's dreams billion door, and that story is on page 3 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. And that is as regarding to Napoli star in fitness race for AFCON. These are some of the stories we can take this morning. We won't be able to take all because of time. But Ken, before we go look at that main headline there with that the superstar there, I think he's a goalkeeper, and we are asking, can this Noah save Eagles from goal flood? What's your answer to this question?
Well, everybody wants to bring in a goalkeeper, that will always say, but I think Nigeria lost, or rather, we're still struggling to replace someone of the caliber of Vincent Nyama, and then that draws us to the of course the narrative that most of the goalkeepers that has ever performed very well for the Super Eagles are the homegrown talent. We have this tendency of running abroad looking for goalkeepers that don't even play football matches in their club, but at the end of the day, it is consistency that makes a player to be at his top form, not about skill. Because a player might have all the skill, if you're not, training constantly, playing constantly. Use Cristiano Ronaldo as an example. The man is 30 something, but because he keeps training, because he keeps playing, and that is why he can fight his coach if they want to bench him, because he knows that if he's on the field, he keeps developing every day. So if we're going to keep looking at the goalkeepers that just shine out one match because their club just featured them for the first time in 3 months, then we're not going to get anywhere. We have real homegrown talents who are here, who play week in, week out in the Nigerian Premier Football League. So we need to change our recruitment policy, not just for the goalkeeper, but even for the entire national team. We end up bringing back all the talents in Europe. Kudos to them, they are doing well. but most of them don't even deserve to be in the national team because they don't play football matches. It's only in Nigeria that we pick those that play for top clubs, maybe because they saw the coaches with a little tip, maybe they promote themselves. The one we're seeing now on the headline, I can bet you, had paid some money to be promoted and put on the headline. And the next thing you see now, he be called to the Super Eagles. And they do this most time, not even because they have passion to play for it, because they want to sign a new contract with their club. They want to be seen, their statistics want to show that they play for the national team, and they use that to get some money. But for me, if we're ever going to get it right in the Super Eagles again, we need to go back and get a home talent, just like Vincent Nyama was discovered in Akwa Ibom, and he went on to become the all-time best goalkeeper we ever had in Super Eagles.
Sunday Olise said some days ago that he was calling on NFF to bring back Vincent Iyamo.
Well, Olise will always call them to bring back. But let's not forget that Sunday Olise was once a coach with the Super Eagles, and of course it ended in shambles. I'm not disputing his argument, but I'm saying Sunday Olise needs to understand that.
Promises, and at the end of the day, there was a power tussle there. Anyway, we just hope that Super Eagles will keep. And how's it going with our Super Falcons?
Well, of course, if there's any football team in Nigeria that we should be proud of now, is the ladies team. Over the years, they've been doing very well. They always keep performing at the highest stage. And for me, I think they're always in the right direction. They have a good coach. They have a good technical team. They're always recruiting the best. And still buttresses to what I say. Let me not sound so far, but I know that about 45% of the Super Falcons is made up of the home talent. You see girls that play for Rivers Angels, play for the Calabar Queens and the rest. They are the ones that form the fulcrum of these Super Falcons. So maybe we also the men team need to look in the direction and see what is making them succeed and do it from there.
Yeah, we wait and see, and that would be a good place to wrap up the newspaper review segment. Like I said earlier, we'll be bringing a discussion very soon after the break, and today's topic is the share of the national cake. Focus on Ohanese's move to drag the federal government to court over what they termed as unfair ministerial appointments. We'll be right back after the break. Stay with us.
Hooray! The next president show is here again.
Everyone, my name is Hajara Osman Muhammad. I'm the youth governor for Kano State, Nigeria's Center of Commerce.
Pronounced Joel Garba, the youth executive governor of Kaduna State, and I am contesting for the youth presidents of Nigeria under the People's Liberation Party, PLP.
Between 18 and 30, smart, bold, and possess exceptional leadership skills. Do you have what it takes to be the next youth governor and future youth president? Then register free now at superiorradioandtelevision.com or call the number on the screen. The next President reality TV show, moving politics out of the polite drawing room into the clamor of the streets.
Hello viewers, you're welcome back from that quick break. Yes, this is Wake Up Nigeria, and we just finished the news review segment. We're moving into the topic of today. Like I said earlier, the topic of today is the national share of the national cake. The share of the national cake. Now, while a lot of people are actually thinking or said that the president has been fair, in appointing is an inclusive government. Others are of the opinion that the president is being biased in appointing. When you look at that ministerial list, this is coming from the Ohanese group. There is a group. There is a call yesterday from the Ohanese to actually drag the government to court. And when I followed that trend last night, I didn't sleep on time. I actually went to that report, and because when something happens, what I tend to do is to follow experts. ideas and what they feel about such call. And we saw that the president did appoint 5 people. Now, what's your take? Let's start from there, Daddy Chris. Do you think it is it was a just appointment? Talking about the ministerial appointments, we've seen 5 people from that state, if not 6, 5. What do you think? What's your take on that list first before we even go to the issue of today?
I think it's two main issues here. The question is fair is different from something being done against the law. You understand? This law says that you must get one person from each state. And if we have 5 states from the east, and the president has picked on 5, by law, he hasn't broken it, he hasn't done anything wrong. However, you understand, for political, let me say this, I always use one word. That's why I don't like the word democracy. The way the majority rules. Does it mean the oppression of the minority? That's something. So if we define democracy, our current one, this one, because that's what we understand as democracy, as the rule of the majority, then it is oppression of the minority. That is why wise political parties, they come up with internal rules again to harmonize the nation, you understand? And that is the job of political parties, really. And that is what I think PDP did well after some time. I don't know, APC is doing their own bit, but they have enemies, You cannot take that from it. Tinubu must have won. He has his own enemies for sure. Whether Tinubu is going to be nice to all of them, I don't think so. You understand? But Tinubu, once the day you sworn in as the president of Nigeria, you are no more APC man. You are now the father of the nation. And as a father, you need to carry everybody along. But that is where this kind of appointment could be. It's unfair, it's unjust.
Okay, but just before that, let me take the viewers through the reason for this topic today. We saw here that Ohanese is set to drag federal government to court over what they termed as biased ministerial appointments. But the news went further to say Emmanuel Iwanyanwu, the president of the general of the Igbo Apes Social Cultural Group, Ohanese Indigbo, has threatened to drag the federal government to court over alleged inequality in ministerial appointment by President Bola Tinubu. And if we could see here the list of what we have, the list from the Southeast, Minister of Trade, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment. We see here Doris Anite, and of course we have Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Naji. There's another one here, Minister of State, Labor and Employment, Nkiruka Onyi Jiosha. And then there is another one here, Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy. And there is another one here, Minister of Works, David Umahi. Now, these are the names so far, and this is what Igbo this is what the Ohanese Idingo are claiming to be a biased appointment. And yesterday when I followed the trend as well, while some of the opinion that these appointments are not meant to be so, because and someone said they are not even key appointments. That in Nigeria we have the key offices. And do you think these ministries I just called out, Daddy Chris, are not key enough?
It depends. It depends. Well, funny enough, they now have ministers of state and the senior ministers. So we now know that some ministers are actually of higher rank than the other. But however, it boils down to one thing: the allocation of resources to the ministries. So if I'm a president and my core projects or what I want to achieve in my years in office is within the Ministry of Agric ministry, which you guys consider to be nothing, will become the most lucrative one. You understand? So if my own is to make road, then ministry road becomes something. So it's difficult to tell which
And so,
ministry.
because Nigerians feel like maybe when we say Minister of Finance, Minister of Oil and Gas, so they feel those are where the power or the strength is of Nigeria. And so, if somebody is not appointed as such, it becomes, you're trying to relegate us to the back. And that is what a lot of people think. And also, somebody also said we have a guest already in the studio. We have two guests already in the studio, and welcome to the show. Somebody also said that do we need, as a people, Buhari has already made his appointment, and somebody is now saying that somebody asked a question. That is what I'm going to throw to you and Kenneth as well. That the Igbos cannot eat their cake and have it. I don't know. That is a very weighty talk. So I'm going to leave that with Kenneth. Do you think it's because a lot of them did not support the president? Daddy Chris did say, once you become a president, you're a president for all, regardless of the electoral process. Kenneth.
Well, I think first of all we need to ask who is promoting this narrative that the Igbos did not support Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I am Igbo. I'm from Imo State.
They are saying the majority.
No. Anybody saying that it has an ulterior motive. Most Igbos supported, of course, they supported Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have only 5 states in the east. Out of 5 states in the east, APC, of course, won Ebonyi State. Very well. The governor there is from Ebonyi State. Of course, even the Minister for Works is from Ebonyi State. And this is one of the most sensitive portfolios in this administration. In Imo State, APC is the ruling party in Imo State. And of course, APC won during the presidential post in Imo State, as well as they won in all the Federal House of Assemblies. The only state APC ever lost in the southeast was Abia, which was lost to the Labour Party, not even to the PDP, who was, of course, ruling there before. And let me also draw your attention that even the present governor in Abia State was up to 2 weeks before the Labour Party convention an APC member. So are you going to say that that the Igbos are not following APC, or that even the leaders, they are not APC? So for me, people pushing this narrative only want to continue the narrative of making the Igbos feel like they are neglected in Nigeria. The Igbos are not neglected. If the Igbos are neglected, we will not have Dave Umahi holding such a sensitive position as that of Minister of Works. So for me, nobody is neglecting the Igbos. Nobody is writing them off. The person pushing this narrative now, of course, the Ohanes Ndigbo president, is a certain Dan Iwanyanwu. Dan Iwanyanwu, of course, we know him very well in Owerri, is a well-established member of PDP, partisan PDP. His Ohanes Ndigbo faction is PDP more like a PDP campaign structure.
Ken, are you saying that the appointment? Listen, let's get one thing clear. I don't want to go into the deeper part of it.
We
but
are already here.
Yeah. Can we be there?
Yes, let's go there.
It's scary. Because the fact remains that I use the word oppression of the minority. All right? Okay. Sometimes you come up with a policy of inclusion. The current president is now president of Nigeria. Picking a minister of works and all these cheap ministerial offices to the east is actually an oppression of the minority. Truth be said, you understand?
Because I read it out. At that time, I believe Ken was not very attentive. When I said there were accusations. Now, there is when something happened, when some headlines try and follow, what comes with it. You see the criticism, ideas, opinions of people. And they are now telling you that these 5 slots that they are entitled to, none of them is weighty enough. That is what people.
Yeah, we know. Like I said, by law, the president has not done anything wrong. All right. Say, hey, what does it mean that by law, the minority should die? That is the question, because they are part of Nigeria. You see, sometimes I want to deny Nigeria. Let me say this again. I come from the South. I'm an Urobo man. We produce oil for this nation, and we have nothing to show for it. The least, I know I don't have the numbers to win election. And Nigeria is a country where people vote by religion and tribes, not credibility. You understand? We know that. We may not discuss it. We may not be able to open it up. I cannot prove it beyond reasonable doubt. So don't ask me those questions as a lawyer. Now, the question I ask is, does it make me, if you say whatever if I'm not carried along with appointment, if a sense of belonging, I may be sad that, hey, this is a country where I contribute. But Mali said something. Chase those crazy ballhead out of town. You know what he was saying? He said he's going to chase the crazy ballhead out of town because I plant the cabbage. I plant the corn with my people before me. We slave for this country. Now you're looking at me with this corn. And you eat upon my corn. No. This is what is going on. You understand? For me in the south, and you for those people in the southeast, they have every reason to be angry. The truth is, if Nigerians understand something called fair, the presidency should have come from the southeast. We are not going to do that. That's why I said I don't want to dig into
And don't
order.
forget also that it was the major one of the major headlines yesterday across all national dailies was the call of Edwin Hack that the Tinubu should remove Ebonyi State, Abia State, Imo State, and Ondo State from the Niger Delta NDDC board. Because yes, and it boils down to this as well. Now, when they feel like they are not, for instance, we know that the oil producing state, if you go there today, you won't see any tangible thing to hold on to that this is what.
But is it the fault of Abia?
No. I'm not saying it's fault of Abia. What I'm trying to say is that because of calls like this, right? And I was seeing that Oganese is not coming out now to say the appointment, the ministerial appointment where Tinubu was.
What I'm saying is that Ohanese has lost it. This is not the mandate of Ohanese. Ohanese is supposed to look out for the betterment of the Igbos. Appointing ministers in Igbo land does not in any way transform to development in Igbo. Before now, hold on, sir. Let me just write this up now. We've had senior presidents who are from the Igbo. We've had ministers who are from the Igbo. We've had defense chiefs who are from the Igbo. But it never helped. Ohanese should, in fact, keep pushing on the bill for the Southeast Development Commission that has passed second reading. If there is anything Ohanese should be hinting on, it is that. So that we can have, say, 400 billion or 300 billion appropriated to the Southeast annually for us to develop our side, because this region has not received any substantial development since the Civil War. But Ohanese is busy picking things that are not meant to be. The Constitution says appoint ministers from each state, and as I can tell you, the 5 states in the South are represented in the Federal Executive Council. So what else are they looking for? We have House of Assembly members, we have senators who are from the Southeast, and they are doing their job. They should pressure those people to do the job that they are sent to do. It is not the ministers that is going to swing the presidency to do anything better. You have elected House of Representatives, you have elected senators who have the mandate to push a bill in the upper and the lower chambers. And now you're going to say is this ministers? This for me, Ohanese is just like a house on fire that is busy chasing rats. We have the South being ravaged by insecurity. They are not talking about insecurity. They are not asking the president to appoint a defense minister from the Southeast in order to tackle insecurity. Their problem is the ministerial appointment because it has not favored them. Of course, they are looking for.
But Kenneth, you just said it now. Why don't they give because the sensitive nature of the South is the insecurity situation there? Why is the Minister of Defense not coming from there? If that is an issue,
this is what I even expect them to talk about.
That is a minister. That is a ministerial office that would have. We could ask how do you want Ohanese to say it better? They just see they cannot raise all at a go. It's a fact. I like the concept. The Southeast Development Commission. It's long overdue because after the Civil War, these people have not really gotten anything, and that they cannot produce a president. Because why I'm saying this is on a good day, the best person should rule. It doesn't matter whether or not 200 times. But the truth is, people vote according to religion. They vote according to tribe. They don't vote because of the elites. If we have the population, the educated people, or how do we call Nigeria is still not the voters as our politicians, you can blame them, but nobody can tell me vote for this man because he's this. For your information, Peter Obi won my village. No, he didn't even go there to campaign because they listened to his campaign and people voted for him, not because he gave them money. You understand? Until we have that kind of electoral colleges or electoral system, we want to say, let the share of the national cake. That's what we're talking about here now. If we're talking of national unity, the cause of insecurity is what? Uneven share of national cake. If these people are not saying, please give us more ministers because of our privileged position, as a wise government, I will do it. Because number one job of government is carrying protection of lives and property. The Southeast is in trouble. Anything that can bring, in fact, I will release Kano. Put him under this, you understand? Release it, but now I want to work with you. Let us see that. I'll put Kano with me on a national television. Let there be dialogue. You understand?
This is what Ohanese should be talking about. Yeah. Now they leave the most sensitive issue. The most sensitive issue, sir. Sorry,
yeah,
in the Southeast today.
Yeah. No, you've said it. So I'm sure if you listen to them, I'm sure these three will be on the agenda. I don't know Ohanese, but I'm sure what you said that the Development Commission, the Southeast Development Commission, is long overdue. It should be on the agenda. You understand? The big office, security, should be on the agenda. If you talk of security, you can't achieve security today in Southeast if Kano is in prison. You understand? Because they believe he's their freedom fighter. Whether you like it, call him a terrorist. Anyway, I want to say somebody's terrorist might be somebody's freedom fighter. That is a story prosperity will judge. We cannot judge it today. Because before, Nelson Mandela was considered a terrorist. At the end, we now know the man is a freedom fighter. Is it not true? But he was still in the terrorist list till when he was even president in some countries here. You understand? So, Ken, let us be careful when we address Nigeria. Nigeria have a unique challenge, and we should address our issue in that unique manner. We are sensitive to our nation. They call us tribes. The nation of Europe will call us tribes. They call their own nation. Even though Nigeria is a country of many nations.
Yes.
And these nations, when you put them together, you cannot just throw away some nations. Though it's been represented in the Constitution, like you said, it did nothing wrong, but be wise to carry them along. You are a father.
Because Iwanya did allege that this stated, not even alleged that it is unfair for President Tinubu to give the Southeast only 5 slots for ministerial appointment, while other zones boast of 10 ministers, he said. And now Ohanese also described the action as unfair, and they also they are making moves, dragging the federal government to court, because most of these he also added that a lot of underdevelopment and suffering issues in Southeast.
Okay, you see what I like? What I like about this, Ohanese, I want to give them credit. They've done things the civilized way. They are not going to take arms. All right, they said they will take the government to court. It's something I advocate every day. You understand? The federal government should continue to receive embarrassment. If you do something wrong, let the nations react.
But there's something I do not understand, Kenneth and Daddy Chris. He added that the inability of government to create an additional state is causing a lot of suffering. What additional states are we talking about?
I think this makes you to understand my position on Ohanese. Ohanese has turned to a political wing, asking for things that are not relevant to the development of the Southeast. What does a new state cause in the Southeast? What exactly?
The crisis we're having there.
What is exactly is the benefit of having a new state in the Southeast? Ohanese, if they are interested in the Igbos, they should be talking about through federalism. They should be talking about control of your resources, which is actually what is the national cake we're talking about. The national cake is all we own. The national cake. Instead of them shouting to be given a seat at the national cake, they should be talking about controlling the cake and giving some part of the cake as what is expected into federalism, which is 30%, going back to the federal government. These are the issues I expect. If Ohanese is smart, this is what I expect them to be talking about. Not give us an extra state, not give us minister. This is just like someone crying over you have a bag of rice and you are crying over 2 cups of rice. because you should be asking, these oil wells belong to us in the east. These oil wells belong to us in the south. Why are we not the ones controlling the revenue from it? In fact, do you know, can I tell you now, sir, that Imo State in Nigeria has about 23 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. In fact, there is a project going from Morocco coming to Nigeria to take this gas to Europe. Nobody's talking about where is the money coming from? Who is going to control the revenue that comes into Imo State when this project is completed? The natural gas in Imo State that everybody is trying to get now, how are we going to benefit from it as Imolites? Ohanes is only interested in ministers, but there is a core mandate that they have. The core mandate is the mandate of the Igbos.
Before I let you go, I know we have a young man
We
with
have a
us.
guest, so we
we'll
need
be
to
talking.
wrap up
But
this.
let me say this. Let me say this. As a national issue, Nigeria, you can fight Ohanese, all right? But as a nation of the Igbo people, because it is now, the truth is Nigeria will all go to take our share of the national cake. So Ohanese, as a pressure group, representing a particular people, their thinking is, how do we get more state? Because with more state, the allocation, they share the money per state, more will come to us. That is what it is. So they're thinking as a state, as a nation. You understand? I do that. I cry in my state, correct? And I say, hey, we need a robo state. In where I come from, it is a fact that people, when I think like that, I am thinking as an Yoruba man. But when I talk of Nigeria, perhaps our problem is really true federalism. You understand? But even when we have true federalism today, individual people within my community, we still fight that what get to that place didn't get to us. Come to my village. We're from my own kingdom. We have an internal fight. We have Ogariki. We fight. We say these people that are shooting us. We are you see, so it's politics. I cannot blame Ohanese. Ohanese should fight for what they think is good for their people. As long as it's done in a legitimate manner. You understand? Let them do so. It's a pressure group doing what they do. And if these issues begin to arise, but Mali said again, the uprising will bring out the peace in us.
That is true, and that would be a good place as well. So we have a guest, so we move
talk
quickly.
About the next.
Next president.
Connect you with your people. I couldn't sign in our other person from the other person because his system was very unstable.
Yes.
If he's going to join the show, we need stability. That is number one. I'm happy to have this young man with us.
Yes, we have with us here live in the studio, in Abuja studio right now.
Yafaru.
Yes.
Yakubu, right?
Yakubu, aspirant for FCT next governor. You're welcome. Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much. Morning. How are you?
I'm fine. And how are you today?
I'm doing fine.
Yes, we are glad that you're able to join us this morning. And of course, it's a good thing when we see young people coming out like this to, and being at the front burner as far as politics is concerned. Now, how do you feel, being the aspirant for the FCT next governor?
Actually, I am glad to be among the contestants for the office of the Executive Governor of FCT here in Abuja. So I am happy to be among the strong contestants for the office.
So my question will be just a quick one. What will you do should you become the next FCT governor? What are your plans?
That is a good question, sir. We have plans on ground to make sure that we deliver to our constituency, those people that elected us. We will deliver our mandate. We have plans. One of our plans is youth inclusiveness in government. Are we together, sir? Youth inclusiveness.
That with you.
Is one of our top priorities. And then fairness, that is justice and equity in terms of distributing the dividend of democracy. Because we are elected not to serve ourselves, but to serve our constituency. Understand? So we are here representing our people who elected us as the executive governor of FCT. So we have mandate to deliver. We have to fight insecurity. We have to fight corruption. We have to fight poverty in society. Because with abject poverty in our society, there is no way our society will grow. So, and then poverty is one of the goals that the SDG, the Sustainable Development Goals, is trying to fight across the world. So, fighting poverty is one of our top priorities. And then education is also one of our goals that we want to achieve in society. Education, not only education, we are not taking on only education, education which is of quality, which is of standard, where our youth will compete at the international market. Understand? Not just have big graduate. We are graduating today in Nigeria. So we are trying to make education affordable and of standard. Understand? So we will make sure that education is affordable irrespective of the gender. Irrespective of the gender, either being female or male. You understand? And then irrespective of the tribe. You understand? So we
Yes.
are going to run an inclusive government if we are given the mandate to serve in Abuja. And then another thing is infrastructural development. As you can see in Abuja, Abuja is growing gradually, but the speed of development in Abuja is something of worry. FCT was created since 70s during Murtala, but now still FCT administration is doing little or nothing to make sure that the FCT, entirely FCT, that is Abuja, has developed fully. Still, there are some challenges in terms of infrastructure. Go to the satellite towns like Gwagwalada, Kuje, Kubwa. We are lacking social amenities. The roads are not motorable. Understand, sir? So we have to improve these social infrastructures. And then even the primary schools and the secondary schools, the public schools are still underdeveloped and they are still understaffed. So we have to improve all this. Are we together, sir? So and
Yes.
Yes.
then we have to fight corruption entirely or minimize it to the barest minimum, because in a society which corruption has eroded its institution, there is no way that society will develop. So we have to fight corruption. If we cannot fight corruption entirely, we have to minimize it to the barest minimums. So these are some of our mandate if elected as the executive governor of FCT. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, well said. Actually like everything you've laid down, because these are some of the issues that are being affected by the people. But I have lived in Abuja for years, and we know when politicians come on board, we know what they say. And for me, as a journalist, talk is cheap, and we do not buy talk. What is the what how can we be be sure that you will do all these things, because we've seen them come out to say we will do this, we will do that, and after being elected they neglect the
Princess,
people.
this guy
And
is
them,
a
and
youth running. This is
yeah,
this is a
yes,
mock
we know.
stage. So,
We know. Yes,
so
we know.
yeah.
We know.
Okay.
So when somebody say, I will do this and I will do that, we've seen that over the time. Don't forget also that we've seen youth also in power over the years. Talking about Ayaya Bello. And then when they say, I will do this, I will do that, they seem to be carried away or they overwhelmed with these issues. How are we sure that you're going to carry out everything you just said now?
Thank you very much. It's a very nice question, but is you are trying to trick me at least. So we have some youth, actually, like Yahya Bello you mentioned. It's not only Yahya Bello. We have people like the former governor of Niger State, Bago. He is also a youth.
Is not
So
is the president,
Is the current one.
current governor. Bago
no,
is the current.
Yahya, no, not Bago. I mean Lolo,
All right,
the former governor of Niger State.
all
Yes.
right,
Lolo, Sani Bello.
all
Okay.
right.
He's also a youth, understand? But unfortunately, due to one reason or the other, I don't know what stopped them from achieving their mandate or from implementing their plans. You understand? So from the early stage, they started well. Like Yahya Bello is a youth. So we are expecting him to do more. But we don't know what came up. So what I want to assure you is that just give me your mandate with a clean heart, with a clean mind. So I will not fail you by the special grace of God. I'm not that types of politicians that promise and fail. It is said that expect much from those who promise little and expect nothing from those who promise much. So this is my statement.
Thank you very much.
And Jafaru, just in case you are elected, there is a major issue in Abuja ravaging the people. Talking about the issue of one chance. Now, Abuja is no longer safe. No, it's scary going from just a port to area one bridge because of the amount and number of one chance taxis on that road. How do you intend to tackle these very serious issues disturbing the citizens?
Actually, fighting insecurity is one of our major points. We have to fight insecurity to totality because any serious government will make sure that it puts an end or it minimizes insecurity in its society before thinking of developing the society. So we here in FCT Abuja, we have our own insecurity, which is common within the town. And we have other challenges of insecurity in the villages. Like in Abuja, inside Abuja town, as you mentioned, we have the issue of one chance. One of the ways of minimizing this insecurity, making sure that our people are safe, is by social awareness and by engaging some of the vigilantes, which are informal security sector. You understand? Which are informal security sector. We have to work with them hand in hand in making sure that our society, our environment is safe. Because we cannot afford to be losing our citizens through this one chance. Because they are used to killing people, this one chance drivers. You understand? So we have to fight it. We have to join hand with other informal security sectors in FCT. And then in the villages, there are some villages currently in Abuja under FCT that are experiencing kidnapping and banditry. So we have to join hands together. We have to join our hands together with the local vigilantes, the traditional rulers, their emirs, and others, and their politicians to make sure that all those villages are safe. So these are some of the measures that we are going to adopt to minimize or to eradicate insecurity in Abuja.
Thank you very much. Jafaru, I just want to tell the audience that for your information, you've made history. God will bless you. Because those who don't understand, this is one of the shows we organize to say, catch them young, looking for future leaders. And that is the essence of the Next President TV reality show. A show where young people like Jafaru are given the platform to showcase their talent as leaders. You can see he talks from the inside. That's all I can say. He's able to answer your questions. He wasn't prepared. And these are the kind of things we're saying, meaning we have a hope, you understand? Tomorrow. What I want to say to you is you are our hope. If Nigeria will survive, it's going to be people like you. Take it seriously. Take your mandate seriously. Grow your knowledge as you started very well. You talk about insecurity and actually the solutions, And I hope that you kids, you younger generation, will approach things with more sincerity of purpose than we have done. Because the truth is, we do say, but the way we do things has been different. I'm sure like you said, you are not one of those. You will expect less from those who talk a lot and more from those who don't.
And that is why I actually threw that question. I love the fact that you actually spoke without, looking at your mandate or paper. You were like, you have these things
it's
in
there.
you. It's there.
Yeah.
And that is what I wanted to find that. Well done.
Thank you very much.
I pray you succeed in your future.
Yes, we hope you win the next governor and you proceed to become the president. All right. And I think what we want to do is elect a young president to work side by side with the president. So if they have anything to do with the youth, they'll be calling on you. And it is the credibility we showcase here that will make those at the top recognize us. Well done.
Well, thank you, viewers. We've been speaking with Jafaru Yakubu. He is the aspirant for FCT Next Governor.
He's one of the aspirants.
One of the aspirants
Yes.
For the FCT Next Governor reality show. Thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Well done. Yes, Viewers, as we speak, Supreme Court is agog.
Yeah.
These are some of currently the people are turning up. You could see these images. Security is well beefed up, and in preparation for that verdict today, the much awaited judgment that the whole world Nigerians have been waiting for. And we do hope that today, whatever happens, let every other party, aggrieved parties, work with the person that we be the president or the president, so that we can focus on building reviving the economy that has even crashed landed. We'll see there that the preparations are in top gear already. You can see the likes of FCT Minister Wike there. We can see Genduje there, and even some of the lawyers. I see San Ozakame there. Michael Zakame is there. You can see Bajabia Mila Femi as well, and Ganduje and Wike also is seated right now. Or I bet this is for and that is San Mike Ozekome and some other sons there. It's going to be legal firework soon, and we see how that plays out. Well, good luck to them.
Yes.
Well, this would be a good place to wrap up the show this morning. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Wake Up Nigeria, today. Thank you, Daddy Chris, for being here. Kenneth, thank you, and thanks to Joanne as well. Our guest, Yakubu, thanks for coming. Viewers, it's been a fun ride. This would be a good place to wrap up the show. But before we go, don't forget our SRTV packages. We have quite a lot event coverage. Just call on us and we'll cover your event as well. We'll have a travel tour. We'll book your ticket for your school and even tourism. Anywhere you want to go, just call us. We'll be right there to book your ticket for your travel with SRTV event coverage. We'll record video coverage and everything, your birthdays, your weddings, and everything. And as well, we have our magazine. As low as 30K, you could be on our magazine to showcase your brand, your product, your career as well. And don't forget, also, we rent equipment. Just call on us and we will, we have all type of cameras. We have lighting system and as well editing suits as well. And as well, we have, it's amazing to introduce our production outlets rather. It's quite beautiful. All you have to do is just go in there and you start shooting. You don't need to buy this, you don't need to do that. The place is well arranged, is well set to accommodate even up to 60%. This is amazing offer. You will rush at this offer. So do well to call us and start your productions today. We'll show you that video and we will be right back.
Show that video is here.
Okay, so we'll move forward. We just had a guest now, one of the aspirants for the next president, next governor, FCT. Normally when we catch them when they're young, watch this and you know what the next presidential is all about. It's not you saying, criticizing. Now, this is opportunity for you to come out and vie, for a position, so that in the future, exactly. When you get there, you know what to do already.
Hooray! The next president show is here again.
Everyone, my name is Hajara Osman Muhammad. I'm the youth governor for Kano State, Nigeria's Center of Commerce.
Pronounced Joel Garba, the youth executive governor of Kaduna State, and I am contesting for the youth presidency of Nigeria under the People's Liberation Party, PLP.
Between 18 and 30, smart, bold, and possess exceptional leadership skills. Do you have what it takes to be the next youth governor and future youth president? Then register free now at superiorradioandtelevision.com or call the number on the screen. The next President reality TV show, moving politics out of the polite drawing room into the clamor of the streets.
Hello viewers, you're welcome back. That is what our next president show, next governor show is all about. Be a partaker today. Key into this, and just so in the future you don't be the one criticizing leaders, but you are the one actually helping solving the issues of Nigeria. That would be a good place to wrap up the show. But before we go, do want to follow us on our social media handles. Go to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and X, and of course YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube, very important. Invite somebody also to subscribe to see the amazing job we're doing here. And leave us with your comments. We'd love to hear from you. It's a beautiful Thursday morning. Do well to be your brother's keeper. Remember that peace is priceless. We see you again on the show tomorrow, hopefully. Bye for now.
Srtv. Innovative content. Global audience.